Among the 8 finalists are 3 surefire Hall of Famers, Tim Duncan, Kevin Garnett, and Kobe Bryant, ensuring that the induction ceremony at the Hall in Springfield, Massachusetts in August will be an emotional affair. Going into the Hall as recipients of the Kurt Gowdy Media Award, sports writer and commentator Michael Wilbon, and the longtime play-by-play announcer, the voice of the NBA Finals, Mike Breen. Bud Mishkin, CBS News.
The New England Aquarium has a new resident, a rare bright blue lobster. It was caught in the wild, and it'll be on display in the aquarium's Isle of Shoals exhibit. The aquarium says the incidence of blue lobsters in the ocean is estimated to be about 1 in 2 million. Sam Litzinger, CBS News.
I'm Paul Violas, host of CBS's Security Matters. If you run a small business, you should use LegalZoom right now to make sure you're set up for success. LegalZoom has helped more than 2 million Americans incorporate, form an LLC, and more. You can also get advice on contracts, lease agreements, and other legal questions through LegalZoom's network of independent attorneys, since they're not a law firm. Go to LegalZoom today to take care of your business needs and enter promo code SECURITY in the box at checkout. LegalZoom, where life meets legal.
Did you know that the IRS is getting more aggressive these days and they're using private collection agencies to track you down? Don't wait. If you owe more than $10,000, then you need to take action. Take advantage of the Fresh Start Initiative, a program in place that can help you now. If you qualify, you can save thousands. Call about the government program designed to help you and call Oxford Tax, the Fresh Start experts. It's important that you take action before programs change. Call Oxford Tax at 800-549-8040. 800-549-8040.
The following program is a paid presentation. The views and or opinions expressed do not necessarily reflect those of the staff and management of KWAM.
Yeah. AM 990. What's the deal? We keep it real. We unleash, y'all know what it is. We unleash, you gonna get all the biz. We unleash, we gonna show off your skills for real. So tune in for advice and news every Saturday night if you like the truth. We stand up for your rights and rules. Saturdays at 5, we'll fight for you. Skitty and GQ for LGBTQ. We keep it simple, but keep it equal. Skitty and GQ for LGBTQ. We keep it simple, but keep it equal. Blow the whistle. Blow the whistle. Blow the whistle. Blow the whistle.
Ow, this is the S to the K to the double E to the T to the E to the R, and I'm sitting with the G to the Q, and I'm sitting here with SisterReach, CEO, soon to be married lady in the house on the anniversary. Yeah. Little Salisbury over there. And we're in the house today, and we're fired up. Hello, somebody.
Yes. We are in this thing. Oh, it's Saturday, the day after Valentine, and it's 5 o'clock, and you know what time it is. It's the Unleashed Voice radio show, and we broadcasting live in the studio of KWAM 990 and FM 107.9 right out of Memphis, Tennessee. So those of you in the sound of my voice in your car, turn that volume up, call your friends, and let them know that they on. We're going to be broadcasting also streaming through Facebook and our social media sites. So you can jump over there on TUV Magazine. You can follow us on Instagram at TUV Magazine and come in live in the studio with us. But we got a great show today. So, Davian, what's on your mind?
Well, this all will coexist with each other.
Okay.
I'm so tired of talking about us black folk fighting with each other.
Okay.
And it's a shame that this presidential election has led to black folk fighting against each other. And this new article that has come out with DWayne Wade and his family has caused black folk to fight with each other. And it's really sad. And we just forget about the black liberation movement and black power and all those things. But we let sexuality and religion just cause all type of friction with us. So let's go to the presidential election. The sentiment is people are angry at Bloomberg because of the stop and frisk that he did in New York. I just talk about the black community right now. They're angry about that, and he apologized. And the people are I'm tired of all these old heads. I'm just being real. I'm tired of Sleepy Joe. I'm tired of what did Trump call Bernie Sanders? I forgot his name he gave him. I'm tired of him. I like Elizabeth Warren because I like my student loan debt elimination. That's a great idea. But we need new energy. And the black folks are fighting against Pete Buttigieg because he's gay. And they say he didn't do a good job in South Bend when he was the mayor of South Bend, a little small town. He doesn't have experience. Donald Trump didn't have any experience. So we're going to throw experience out the window. But my point is this. Black people have begun fighting amongst each other, talking about we're not going to vote. We're going to write in individuals. We're not going to do that. We have to stick together. And the Republicans are laughing, and they're going digging up all their friends in the woods so they can bring them out and vote when it's time to vote.
Why they got to get them out the woods?
Because they don't vote in the woods, but they're going to get them to vote this time in the woods. And black people, you forget about the liberation piece. What about black liberation? What about uplifting each other for racial pride, economic empowerment, the creation of political and cultural institutions for all African Americans in the United States? What happened to that? But now, since gay has come into the picture, we threw all that out the window. So black people, when are we going to wake up? That's what's on my mind. The number here is 901-260-5926. Again, it's 901-260-5926. Come on, get y'all some regarding this. I'm tired of black folk.
Well, the only thing I got to say is to this topic, because I'm not going to talk about politics today. I don't have to. Is that you can't be woke and homophobic. That's all I got to say about that.
SisterReach, CEO, and First Lady.
What am I going to say about these here politics? Wait.
Microphone.
Oh, right. I need a microphone. Duh. What am I going to say about the politics? I think the politics is, for me, we're not going to get anywhere shaming one another about whichever candidate we support. We're not going to get anywhere, feeding into this social media bait that is, designed to pull us all in and get us all pissed off to the point that we ultimately do not vote. And we've got a larger responsibility, especially those of us who are learned, if you will, in politics and the process of politics, to not lead with shame, but to lead with opportunities to encourage and educate one another on the facts. Folks' views on each one of those candidates comes from some fact, some foolishness, some a little bit in between. But I think that this is also, let us not lose sight that, I think that the attentions are heightened because we are especially concerned about not having 4 more years of what we have currently endured. And for those, I think, who are keeping our eyes on the prize of trying to see, which candidate is going to get us closest to the liberation that we all desire.
Right.
Really ought to be the focus. Yeah. Right. For some, that means that they're going to vote in a different party than they ever have before. For some, I hope that means that they are actually going to vote, and that we don't let this be an opportunity that stops us from doing our civic duty to lift our own voices with our vote to get the best candidate in the Oval, so that we all can be all right. For me, I think this kind of party conversation is becoming so tiring.
It is.
You know what I mean? Because let's be real, some of the Democrats suck too.
Hello.
And that being said, where is I'm looking for the party that is the people party.
Yeah.
Right, the one who's going to make sure that Cherisse and Cherisse's household, and Cherisse's family and Cherisse's community get what we need, And unfortunately, I've got some reservations on all the candidates right now, to be honest.
Hello.
I've got some reservations, and folks still need to prove to me as a voter why they deserve my vote. I said that back when Hillary was running. It wasn't just, this last time, prove to us that you have, earned these votes, and while we having this kind of, it's too much public opinion.
Yeah.
It's too much public opinion, and there's not enough facts and statistics, to back up all of that.
Aren't they subject matter experts? I mean, these folks, they some subject matter experts around here, baby.
We definitely some subject matter shamers, and I want us to stop that today.
Salisbury, you got anything you want to add to that?
I'm just gonna say vote. Please vote, folks. You know, black people died for you to vote, and yeah, just become informed about those who are running. I personally, I'm also tired of the rhetoric between the parties. And one thing we can't forget, which is what we weren't aware of during the last election, but what we can't forget is that, you know, social media ads have been hijacked.
Yeah.
Possibly by folks not even in this country. And so,
Russians.
you know, right, exactly, basically. And so, you know, we have
Trump.
to keep, we have to keep that in mind that, you know, money rules when it comes to those ads being sponsored on social media. We also have to keep in mind that everybody's being triggered by, you know, they pretty much know what triggers you based on, like on my profile, and I just realized that when we were talking about it earlier, that I have liberal because they ask, you know, what party. So they know what to put out there to you, regardless of whatever that status is that you have, whether you have conservative, independent, or liberal on your profile, and that's what they aim at. That's what they use to aim at you to get a response or to trigger you even. And so, yeah, I would just say, become educated about each of the folks, like say, regardless of the party that they represent, and you know, vote for the party who is going to do those things, or at least saying they're going to do those things that'll benefit us or benefit you. So, yeah.
I totally agree. I totally agree. And I think, once again, we forget about the struggles that our ancestors went through and how we went through the black liberation theology movement to bring us from the white evangelical rhetoric that was being taught, that taught us to hate ourselves and fight against our sisters and brothers. And we use that now in this next instance I'm about to bring up, DWayne daughter. In DWayne's house, that DWayne's accept 130%, so does the wife and everybody else. But we as black folk want to talk about when did the child start making decisions, and my religion won't let me allow me to accept this child, and blah 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 blah. Black folks, you are some hypocrites.
Talk about the hypocrites.
You are. Our number is 901-260-5926. Again, it's 901-260-5926. They don't realize the damage that they do to kids who identify as LGBT when they begin to neglect the children, don't let the kids to develop fully and express who they are and love themselves. Depression is real. Suicide is real. Sex work is real. Harm reduction, period. All that stuff comes from the rejection of family and friends and church and all the above. So you have to be careful. They say words don't hurt. Words do hurt. Words kill people. And so you black folk, y'all get on my nerves. I'm tired of y'all. If I had the money, I'd turn my skin white like Michael Jackson.
No.
I'm tired of y'all.
Don't go too far. Okay.
Right. Come on back this way. So the crazy thing that I think about this whole argument is that what we said earlier, a lot of people are just rallying off opinion.
Yeah.
And they have no education. They have no facts. And it even go as far as inside of the LGBTQ community, where it's supposed to be a safe space, where you're supposed to be with like-minded people, and then you have your own community attacking you for and aligning their views with the opposition. Mm-hmm. And one thing that I found that create, and I don't mean this word ill-intended, but ignorance, because there is a difference between your sexual identity and your sexual preference. There's a difference, and they don't even know if Zaya like women.
Come on,
you know,
right.
True.
Right.
So
exactly.
they're already
Exactly.
like just calling Zaya that Zaya want a man. Zaya didn't say that. Zaya said my identity is female, and there's a difference, but how you identify and who you lay with, and y'all just don't get it. Even in the community, and I had to tell a LGBTQ group that I was in, is that you all need education.
Yes.
Y'all be gay all day, but you're ignorant about your own sexuality and what it means to be trans. And it's complicated, and it's not black and white.
No.
And you make this broad judgment to say that a 12-year-old cannot make a decision or even have that much insight about who they are. And I said that you're lying, because I knew at 5 that I was attracted to females around 5. But what happened, you have people that will shame you, beat you, bully you, maybe even kill you because you have an attraction for the opposite sex. And they think that they can beat it out of you and all the other crazy stuff that go along with it and then make you conform. And a lot of times we suppress that. You push it down and then you go out into the world and then you hurt people. You hurt. And now you're an adult dealing with childhood trauma at 40 and 50 years old, still trying to deal with all of that has complicated your life. But I applaud DWayne Wade.
Me too.
Because some transgender people came forward and said that they wish that they had parents when they were 12 that could make informed decisions before they got into puberty and start developing. And they could have done the hormones and all of that, and then they wouldn't have developed into these 6 feet, men or women had to go and have their breasts removed. They could have stopped all that. Wow. But, we got laws being drafted right now.
That's right.
Right?
Absolutely.
That's going to persecute doctors for even providing hormonal treatment to the transgender community.
Well, I think one of the things that I lifted up on my Facebook post, and, I had one brother on my post who, took my thoughts as being shameful. But, the point that I tried to lift up is that at what point did the black community become so much of an expert on sex and sexuality when we've not even begun a conversation? We're not even talking about human anatomy properly.
Come on, then.
Folks don't know what the labia is. Folks don't understand, what are we talking about? We're already ready to have, this AP calculus conversation on sex and sexuality when we've not done the ABCs and 1, 2, 3s of sex.
They still talk about pulling out.
You know what I'm saying? And we're still, we've still put HIV in a box like it's a gay disease, but folks are straight and positive walking around here. Never been, to their knowledge even, in a relationship in any type of same gender loving scenario. We've put far too much emphasis on on a topic that's so far out in the stratosphere, especially for the black community. And I say that, to that brother, because I'm sure he may be watching this as well.
He's trolling.
He absolutely
they
trolling. Right? But trolling on because he was like, I support what DWayne did, but you don't get to shame us. Ain't nobody shaming us. The statistics show that we ought to be ashamed.
Hello.
The statistics show that we do not understand our bodies, that we will not talk about the things that have happened in our families that have harmed us.
Right.
We're having a whole conversation about Kobe Bryant and sexual assault.
Right.
Without even having a conversation about sex.
Right.
Or without having a conversation about consent.
Right.
We've not had the very foundational conversations about this particular topic before we can get, on and become all these, social media experts, with all of this knowledge that really isn't knowledge. It's stereotype, it's stigma, it's shame, it's leading with our faith, it's leading with our fear.
Yeah.
And the crazy thing, because you just triggered an epiphany, how we swing on the pendulum.
We do.
It's conditional.
It's so conditional.
Because we had the Me Too movement.
Oh, all right.
Come on. They wanted to lock everybody up for the Me Too movement.
Let's be very clear. It's been a very male-centered conversation. It ain't really been a same gender-loving conversation. Because what we know is that there's some women raping women, and we've never had that conversation. We don't want to have that conversation. It's some men raping men. We don't want to have that conversation. It's some trans folks being raped by men. It's that trans woman being raped by a man. It's some trans men being raped by men. Let's be very clear. We want to have the conversation that is comfortable for us. It's a heterosexual conversation is the most comfortable, and unfortunately, that disqualifies us from me being able to have any conversation of depth, that really talks about the issues. And this is coming from me as somebody who teaches sexual health. That's one of the things that we do at SisterReach. We teach about sexual health. So if we haven't even had a conversation about good touch, bad touch. But we want to put a 3-year-old and a 4-year-old together and say they're boyfriend and girlfriend without context.
And then they don't even want to.
Can't talk to me about this. This is not the topic y'all can come for me on. I'm sorry. This ain't it.
And then the crazy part is like they have never stepped even foot in a workshop. Right? To even become educated or even say that being a pastor is not being advocacy in the community. Okay, it encompasses more than that. You coming out that pulpit and standing up, listening to what y'all pastors say every Sunday, and going to Bible study and Sunday school. That's not workshop. Okay, unless your church doing some life skill work and some hard.
But most churches ain't doing
cultural competency. They ain't doing it. They and the members don't want it. They want to hear about Moses and them.
Absolutely.
So.
Because
it's comfortable.
True,
Come
right?
on in.
Well, I just want to speak to it from the perspective of lawmakers. Like we were on the Hill in Nashville for Black Folks Day on the Hill with SisterReach, and I went to talk to 3 legislators, and one was the person that crafted the anti-trans bathroom bill. One of them was his entire purpose. Like, first of all, sitting down with these 3 folks, all 3 were Republicans.
Was Brian Kelsey one?
No. Kelsey wasn't one. This was Kinsley, Bowling, and the guy that crafted the bathroom bill.
Okay. So
I'm talking to him, to one of them, and I'm saying, I'm not a trans person, but I identify as she, her, hers.
Right.
In all three conversations, it was, well, what's that?
Right.
But you're crafting bills about against the transgender community. And the other thing is, like, one of the guys, I can't forget his name. It wasn't what's the name? Halsey or something like that. It wasn't him. But one of the guys said, well, I crafted this bill, the bathroom bill. He said, I crafted it because my granddaughter was in the restroom, and a man came in and said he was transgender, and he went back out. And I said, okay, wait. I said, so was it a man dressed like a man who was a right? I don't believe that. But was it a man dressed like a man who was a cisgender man? And he was like, well, he said he was transgender. I said, well, so why are you crafting this bill against the transgender community? That's a heterosexual problem. So, because I'll say that was it's not a transgender issue, right? There should be a bill crafted if you're that concerned about your granddaughter against cisgender men coming into the women's restroom. Well, that's what you're looking for. But so it's fear mongering.
Adult need to take her in the bathroom.
Right. And so it's the fear mongering, and I think that's the other thing about our community, African American community. Those who push back on the LGBT community so hard is fear mongering. It's things they don't understand. It's things they don't want to understand. Especially when we use our faith as an excuse to why we won't even have the conversation around LGBT issues. So yeah, I think it's horrible, the responses I've seen even on my timeline about this child who she's saying who she is.
Right.
And who are we to question who she's saying she is? That's right. And so again, I just think it's out of ignorance. I think it's because we don't want to see other people, when I say we in general, we don't want to see people live out their full spirit and living in spirit and truth in all of its glory of what that means, right? So we're going to use faith as an excuse. Let's walk in spirit and truth.
Well, that's what the white man did back in the day. He did exactly what the black folk are doing now, using religion to keep you bound, oppressed, and dumb. And so they want to use that same old rhetoric, but put a little twist on it, put a blackface on it, and say, follow my rules, follow my order. But guess what? We got time today. I'm not scared of none of you Uncle Tom Negroes. I'm tired of y'all preachers. I'm tired of all y'all black folk. I'm tired because you all are the biggest hypocrites in the world. You post everything on social media. You ask for forgiveness on one side, but then on the other side, you won't forgive people. But then you want to talk about people on one side. And you guys are just hypocrites. I have learned the true, I learned your true characteristics. And you guys are not worth one penny. But I will not sit back and allow you people to preach that rhetoric and kill any more of my people, period. I'm on the right side of history. I believe in equality for all people. I don't give a damn who you are, but I would not sit back and allow you fake black so-called leaders in Memphis, Tennessee, and abroad preach that rhetoric and hurt and depress and make people commit suicide under your ignorance. Those days are over, especially on my watch.
So that's what we're going to do. We're going to run down some stats and just to show people like the harmful how harmful their behavior can cause and inflict harm to a community, a vulnerable community. And that's exactly what the LGBTQ community is. It reminds me of the opening scene in Harriet Tubman. And they was all standing in front of the master and his wife on the porch.
Right.
And they were having church. And the black man was up there preaching. So he went straight to the scripture. Obey your slave master.
That's what some of you nigga preachers will do. Ooh, that's oops. Yeah, they get on my nerves.
You said knickers.
I mean, you guys get on my. You think you have power? Don't nobody follow y'all? With your 3 members in your church, don't nobody follow y'all? And they think they got power. Man, people are figuring. You are a sheep in wolf clothing, and people are figuring out who you are. You have no power. Don't get me started. We got to take a break.
And there's a responsibility. We have a responsibility. We were talking about this the other day. We were just driving, and we were coming through, I think, Germantown. And we were just talking about how, it's still so very nice, in Germantown, and that we have, but it's still all these churches on every corner. And the same folks that we are talking about, the same folks that the 1 in 3 Memphians living in poverty, the high rates of maternal morbidity, the high rates, and Republicans love to throw high abortion rates out there. We want to talk about folks who have HIV. All of these people sit in these pews. Many of these people sit in these pews, and we've not quite had, there isn't the same level of attention to education and bringing folks into the church who can help, bring that education as there is to the shame that folks are getting over the pulpit.
Yes.
Right? And like I try to tell the brother who was on my post, hey, he's like, oh, you trying to talk about church and you trying to make it about church. Look, who you think run America right now? White evangelicals run America right now. Right?
Yes.
We are socialized within a white evangelical, which for me is still far more white supremacist than it is Jesus. Understanding and culture, then many of us even want to recognize we are so socialized within it that we don't even realize how socialized we are within that understanding. That in that understanding is shame and blame and rhetoric and fold stats and all and racism and classism and misogyny and misogynoir. I mean, Jesus, we are socialized within the very culture that we want to distance ourselves from. Don't come for me in kind of hotel pro-black. Don't come for me on any of that. And we can walk down the black nationalist history if you like, and you're gonna still have me calling you out for a lack of education and information around our bodies, our sex and sexuality, consent, and responsibility about how we take care of ourselves, our families, and our communities. I'm not the one.
They think
that's why y'all called us on here.
Yeah, they could put on some Kimmy cloth, and they woke.
Okay.
Kente cloth. Now I'm woke because I got a Kente cloth on, but you not woke. But listen, this is our 5:30. We got to take our first break. We got to catch our breath.
We got time today.
There's time today.
I got time today.
We got to catch our breath.
I promise I got time today.
This is Unleashed Voice Radio Show.
901-260-5926. Call in. I got time.
You ever had it? No, you ain't from the start. Hey, I'm glad you're back with you. I mean, who would wanna hide this? I will never, ever, 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 ever be your side chick. I put the singing single. Ain't worried about a ring on my finger, so you can tell your friend. Shoot your shot when you see him.
Choices is a non-profit sexual health clinic in Midtown Memphis. We accept TennCare and offer patient assistance to help pay for needed services. Choices is proud to provide comprehensive reproductive health services in an LGBTQ-affirming environment. We offer a wide range of services, such as general wellness, fertility assistance, STI testing and treatment, reproductive health services for people living with HIV, including PrEP and PEP, birth control, Gardasil vaccinations, abortion services, miscarriage management, and services for trans and gender nonconforming people, including hormone replacement therapy. Everybody needs choices.
Let's talk about sex, baby. In Memphis, condoms are free from Planned Parenthood and their friends all over town.
Nothing sexier than free. So check out freecondomsmemphis.org and get some.
Let's talk about sex. Let's talk about sex.
Want to talk about sex? Talk about condoms at freecondomsmemphis.org. Get some before you get some. freecondomsmemphis.org.
Let's talk about sex, baby.
Go get tested for HIV/AIDS because HIV/AIDS has become the third leading cause of death among African Americans between the ages of 25 and 34. Even more surprising is the fact that this disease has become the leading cause of death for African American women between the ages of 25 and 34. The spread of HIV/AIDS is the single greatest health crisis currently confronting African Americans.
Join the Cathedral Praise Church of Memphis Incorporated each Sunday at 12:30 p.m. for our Spirit-filled worship service and each Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. for our Bible study. You do not want to miss these power-packed services. We are a church for all people, and we welcome you as we transform the Memphis culture. The church is located inside Bunn Presbyterian Church at 561 South Prescott Street, Memphis, Tennessee. I'm Dr. Darnell Goose Jr., Senior Pastor of the Cathedral Praise Church of Memphis Incorporated, and I hope to see you there.
This is the city. This is their story. Some names have been changed, and so many lives have been changed too. They're going to give you the facts, just the facts. Some call this a city of crime. When they're done, it's going to be the city that cares a lot. This is the city, Memphis, Tennessee, where fearless, inspired, unfired, hungry rabble of revolutionaries has transformed hearts and minds. Not with weapons, but with their own brand of compassion, integrity, and hard work. All they're asking is for you to join their movement. It's easy to join with a donation of $20, $50, or $100. And it's all for the nonprofit organization Relationships Unleashed. With this donation, you will help enhance the three core principles of education, empowerment, and enrichment to the LGBTQ community and its allies. Go to www.relationshipunleashed.com on the World Wide Web, relationshipunleashed.com. All donations are tax deductible. Come on, join the movement. By the way, I don't need a badge or a gun. I carry a microphone, bub.
So you can tell your friend, shoot your shot when you see him. It's okay, he already in my DM.
And we're back. This is the Unleashed Voice Radio Show where we educate, empower, enrich the community. We are live in Memphis, Tennessee. We're viewing. You can view us via Facebook under TUV Magazine, on my page under Dave and Clemens. Cherisse Scott got her page going. E.T. Sauls got her page going. Gwen don't know what she's doing over here, but we got a caller. This is the livest show on KWAM 990 Talk Radio. What's on your mind?
Hey, I was calling to talk about the Zaya DWayne topic.
Who are we speaking with?
Xavier. My name's Xavier.
Xavier, can you hear? Hold on one second.
I can hear. You got headphones on?
Oh, she want her callers to hear.
I want my callers to hear.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, I watched the episode of Ellen, and I saw it come out, and I looked on Twitter.
Uh-huh.
He calls himself a black activist named Tariq Nasheed. It was a guy who tweeted out that it would never be his kid to come out and be transgender or gay. And I just had to reply to him that you can never tell, like you'll never know. And I say that parents' love is unmatched in a world full of hate.
I totally agree. Well, in my opinion, I said this the other day to some guys. For some reason, all the men were really against DWayne accepting his son, transitioning to Zaya, his daughter. And I was telling them that, and I said this earlier, the lack of support leads to all of those harm reduction we were just talking about. Suicide, sex work, depression. This stuff is real. And so people are dying because of neglect of family and church and loved ones. So it's important to have that support. And it's just sad that black men even speak that kind of rhetoric to their seed. And you know, I don't understand. But nevertheless, it's just really sad.
I appreciate it, and I kind of want to restate what I believe you heard, so I can make sure that our online viewers hear too. And basically saying that, I guess some of the men's response to DWayne supporting Zaya and Zaya's transition, and folks feeling some kind of way. I mean, I've heard the same things. I've heard folks say that though they support DWayne trying to, be there for Zaya, they didn't necessarily support the way that it has been made so public. But, I think it's also what you said. You have no idea what the situation might be until your child comes and says that they are gay. And at this point, it could be on whatever spectrum of gay we're talking about. It could be lesbian. It could be bisexual. It could be, it could be trans. It could be two-spirit. It could be whatever we want to talk about. We can go across all the letters if we like. I think it ultimately comes out. Nobody knows that. Right. And again, I go back to what I said earlier about us not having conversations about sex, which place us in this kind of very interesting space of harm and shame, when we need to really start having a deeper conversation about not only sex, but like this full spectrum of what is happening in our country. I think never before have we seen black effeminate men in a position of power or in the spotlight. I saw some brothers say, oh my God, DWayne is supporting the feminizing of men. No, he's not. No, he's not. He's supporting his child.
Hello.
His one child.
His child.
And but publicly as a family, they're saying they'll love anyone. Is that not what this is all supposed to be about? What is it about us? This level of control that we have to have, over people and their ability to be. Right. You know what I mean? So, I deal with my own self. I'm about to be 46 years old this year. I didn't come out to my mother until I was 40, right? The December following my 40th birthday, I was like, Mama, okay. And this is with folks in my life who were supposed to love me, trying to push me out the closet before I was ready and shame me in front of my mama or shame me with my mama before I was even ready. We're not even giving people an opportunity to figure themselves out. Right. And I applaud this baby for having some level of understanding about who they are at 12. But I can tell you this, my first sexual experience was at age 5. See, but I don't want to have that conversation.
Ditto. Mine was at 5 with you.
You see what I'm saying? Nobody wants to have a conversation
by a heterosexual man. Don't get me started.
By a heterosexual male, and then at age 12, it was a girl. Okay.
A family member.
No, we never had that conversation about family members. And that's why I keep going back to our disqualification. Okay. We not qualified to have, because to have this conversation is for us to really start talking about the ways that sexual harm has happened in our families, in the black community. Yes. And let's be clear, I'm happy to lay any of that at the foot of slavery, at the feet of white supremacy. Yes. But also I got to lay it at the feet of ignorance, at the lack of education. And nobody's out here feminine. Everybody doesn't want to be trans. It's not a trend. Right. Let's be clear about it. Everybody doesn't want to be gay, even though folks like, oh, being gay is sexy. No, being gay ain't sexy. There's nothing fun about being in a society that hates you. Right. Hello. There's nothing fun about being ostracized and harmed. There's nothing fun about being killed, about being unapologetically murdered by people who are even supposed to protect you. It is no fun to live in a skin, in a community that hates who you are at your very core. So this is not about feminizing anybody. You know what I'm saying? This is about, though, allowing people to be, allowing people to live without shame, without having to fit a box that's comfortable for you. Because it's not Zaya, nor DWayne, nor Gab Union, nor anybody else in that family's responsibility to make America feel, be comfortable about what's going on in their home with their child, in that baby's life. What you don't want, what you should not have wanted, was for that man to shame his child, and then we be having a conversation about how Zaya murdered herself.
Absolutely. Thanks for calling in, caller. We got another caller. Thank you, sir. Caller, you're live on the live show on KWAM 990 Talk Radio. Go ahead.
Hey, how y'all doing?
Cut your radio down.
I don't have a radio on.
You
Hold
echoing.
on, take it off.
Yeah, you echoing.
Get off your earpiece.
Who are we speaking with?
Yeah. Who is this?
Is it better?
Yeah.
Much better. Who are we speaking with?
This is Mama Peaches.
Hey,
what's up?
What's going on, Mama Peaches?
What up, Mama Peaches?
There you go. Four of my favorite family members.
Hey, girl.
I love y'all.
Love you too.
What's on your mind?
Look, this black community thing, still shaming folks when we have our trans sisters being killed and ain't nobody saying nothing.
Yeah.
But when they kill their abusers, they hurry up and lock their asses up. Excuse me, I did not mean to say that.
All right.
You gonna get us fined,
Mama
Mama
Peaches. Fined off the air.
Okay. I'm gonna calm down because I'm really heated about this. At 8 years old, when I put my daughter in a frilly dress, she says, "I'm uncomfortable, Mama. I don't like those ruffles touching my legs like that, and this around my neck makes me itch." I told that baby go put her Levi's on. We know which one of our children are these beautiful, peculiar people that the Bible says we are. Does anybody want to talk about it and go in that direction, using religious rhetoric to shame us?
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So out of my 7 daughters and 1 son, I know who my 2 same-gender loving people are, and I will kill a brick about mine. Leave that baby alone.
I know that's right.
Leave that baby alone.
Mama Peaches.
And some of the mamas that said they didn't know, they lying.
Yeah, they lying.
They lying.
You know, DWayne Wade said he knew that Zaya was different when he was like 2 or 3. That baby, he knew. And so he and his wife talked about it, talked about her. So he knew. But I'm going to run down some statistics.
Thanks for calling in, Mama Peaches.
And adding to the conversation. So, it's like statistically it says that, and you can look this up in Psychology Today, that 5,000 LGBTQ youth take their lives each year.
5,000.
And the number is believed to be much higher.
It is, but go ahead.
Also, 500,000 attempt suicide each year. LGBTQ youth. Homosexual and bisexual junior high school boys are 7 times more likely than heterosexual boys to report suicide attempts. Lesbians are more twice likely to commit suicide than heterosexual women. And that gay, male, lesbian, transgender youth make up about 25% of the homeless people living on the streets in this country.
And I know it's more than
yeah.
that.
Yes. And you want to talk about hatred, judgment, violence is a part of their daily lives, and that the abuse that they experience at the hands of the adults and people that are supposed to love and care for them, is unmeasured. So you have post-traumatic stress, agoraphobic, eating disorder, personality disorder, dissociative disorders. Like a lot of my trans friends are introverted and they have social phobias. And suffer from depression, from years of abuse, psychological and emotional abuse. And we already know that the transgender community make about $10,000 a year. Because
yeah, probably less than that.
And so they, it's riddled with poverty because of ignorance and discrimination. They can't get employment and they don't have things for them, but it's getting better. And but every time we make leaps and bounds, and then we turn around and then we take back the progress and we backtrack on the progress, just like what we've seen this week. We saw this outpouring of love for Kobe, and girl dads were everywhere. But then we turn around and then we flip the script. I ain't gonna stay on this long. And then we want to kill Gayle King. And everybody go in, and she's 67 years old. We want to kill Gayle King. And then we turn around. Now we want to kill Snoop Dogg because he apologized. He wasn't supposed to apologize. He's supposed to stay mad at her and keep calling her B, so y'all can let it out, your vow and how you really feel about black women. And then we said Black Lives Matter. And then we said we got a movement going on. And then we said stay woke. And all of this hashtagging. And then you turn around. Now you want to kick DWayne out the Hall of Fame. Now he's not a man, but he's going to be a first ballot, Hall of Famer. And this man is really, he said it himself. It challenged everything about him, hearing this and having to become a father of a transgender child. So you don't know what DWayne is going through. Why you all will say, and then, so this real funny. A lot of you men aren't even active in your kid's life anyway.
That's a whole nother conversation.
Before you say that you want your child is not going to do it. So worry about little Nene. like they say, in the 9th grade, but reading on the 2nd grade level. Worry about that instead of talking about Zion and what's going on with this child. And again, get educated. They are doing everything in their power to help the child. And the last one I'm going to pass this mic, he said, DWayne Wade said that at 12 years old, Zaya can't talk for herself. So that's why he and Gabrielle are doing the talking. But eventually, Zaya will be able to do the talking.
Absolutely.
And they're going to empower Zion to be a leader in the trans community. And that Zaya just said that I identify. Not one time did Zaya say that I'm sexually attracted to anybody.
Sexually active.
Right. So y'all, they went immediately to that, into my LGBTQ community. You all got to do better. You have to do better. And do not put faith in anything that you say you believe, because none of y'all are religious, or you all have a mustard seed of faith. None. Or even want to say it's against your religion. It's not against your religion, because you sitting up there with weave down your back, your face painted, you got on fake nails, you got on all type of mixed fabric, so you cannot rest that argument in religion. Now I'm through.
Well, let me say this. I have some friends who here locally asked me, why did DWayne come out and put this out in the public, in the forefront? And I said it was good that he did this, because you have so many kids whose parents reject them. And so DWayne accepted, he and his wife. So now a foundation, because he's privileged, can be formed to help the trans kids who come out. He can get together with Magic, Isaiah Thomas, and they can form a foundation with some monies and resources to help them. So that's important for him to come out in this privileged position.
Why did you say Magic and Isaiah Thomas?
Because Magic has, I don't know what EJ identifies as.
EJ, I believe, identifies as trans.
Okay, EJ is trans. Isaiah Thomas' son is gay, I think. And they have kids who are a part of the LGBTQ plus community. So it's important for a celebrity who's privileged like these guys to come out. And so they can get together, put their think tank together, and start a foundation to help people who are not privileged, to help the parents deal with this trauma that they're experiencing, the kids with the trauma. Like she said, everyone is experiencing some type of trauma. And it's important we deal with our trauma, because right here in Greater Shelby County, 84% of the black folk here who contracted HIV in 2017, they were black. And 68% were men. And we had 6,100 people reported now in 2017. And as of right now, Memphis has gone back up to number three on the list. And you black folks want to talk about we woke? Y'all better wake up and talk about these things. And we have to stick together as black folks, black and brown people, because we don't, we're going to be doomed. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I think you all have lifted up some important points, and I appreciate you all lifting up those statistics as well, because I think, we need to kind of have these numbers. And one of the reasons that those statistics have gone up around HIV so much is because black women comprise a huge amount of the new HIV statistics in this city. This is something that we've been trying to talk about for almost 9 years, to finally focus on black women too, because let's just be
Why do you think that's happening?
Because we're not talking about sex.
Okay,
because we're also not having conversations about
bisexual
healthy
men
sex.
and
bisexual women as well.
Right.
We got a caller. Caller.
Let Cherisse finish.
Well, we got a caller. She can answer the caller questions. We
okay.
almost out of time. Caller, you're live on the live show on KYM. What's on your mind?
Yeah, how you guys doing today?
Who is this? GT or who is this?
No, this Brother James.
Brother James.
Know what? You know what? I've been all around the world. I'm 71 years old, and what I have really it amazes me how people can hate. No matter what you are a human being first. Yeah. You know what?
Yes.
If you want to choose to be what the hell you want to be there, I ain't got nothing to do with that. But what make it what it gets me that when I see this, and I think that's the person that hates, he has that in him, and he hates to see it being manifested in somebody else, and he's afraid to let it be in himself. That's what I've always said, how you can hate somebody for being what they want to be sexually. I mean, that's insanity. but we got these pedophiles that that do all these things. They got a society. They got a pedophilia society.
Yes, they do.
Yes, and I think that's the worst thing that anything. But I think a liar, a murderer, a thief, all those kind of people that I wouldn't want to be around first. You know, that's how I put it. You know, I had a good friend. I used to be in the drug business. I used to be in all kind of crap back then. But I have found that I'm talking about me, in my business situations with a person that want to be whatever they want to be, I find that we never had a problem coming down to money. The honesty, I never got busted. We never did we never crossed each other. And I look back at this and I say the honesty is and we didn't have nothing sexual going on. We had business things going on, and we were able to make a lot of money.
Okay.
But on the other side, you got a lot of that treachery kind of thing that's coming out. I'm a heterosexual myself, but the heterosexual situation, man, it is so much low down, conniving, snake biting, backbiting, and that type of person that I ever saw in the person that want to be whatever the hell they want to be.
Well, we thank you for calling in. We got another caller. Thanks for calling in, brother. I appreciate you.
Let me say one more thing.
You got like 10 seconds.
David, I'm trying to get in touch with a brother. I just got back here from California. We used to call all the time. I lost his number. Brother David, if you listen, I know you call this show. If you listen, please.
We'll get your number. I'm going to tell the engineer get your number. David call in every week. We're going to get you your number today.
That's what I know, and I want to talk to Brother David.
All right, we got you. She'll get your number. Calling you live on the live show on KWAM 990 Talk Radio. What's on your mind?
Hey, this is Chris.
I can't hear you.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
This is Chris. I appreciate your show, and I want to let you know something.
Cut your radio down.
It's not on.
You're echoing your earpiece or something, but go ahead.
No, it's off because I was listening to you on the phone.
Okay. All right.
But it's off. But anyway, I just want to let you know that I love your show.
Thank you.
I want to tell you all that I love you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We love you back.
And so, you know, with the stigma that goes on in today's society, what we need now is the love for our community and to have understanding and be reasonable towards each other, regardless of our problems,
right?
Or regardless of the way people feel about us. But I really enjoyed the sister that was telling it like it is. You know,
we got three of them. You got to specify three of them up here.
Yes, this is true.
Well, all of them.
Oh, there you go. There you go. Thank you.
When we talk about the problems in our community, and I am a black man, I'm not white, even though it might sound like it. Anyway, I feel that the sisters that were on there talking about the conversation that all of us need to have to make us all understand is basically we need to be real with each other, just like they said.
Yeah, thank you, brother, for calling in. We got to wrap up. Thank you.
We appreciate you.
Bye.
All right, ladies, you got like 1 minute apiece. We got 3 minutes left.
Well, I just want to speak to the parents to say, you know, if you're faced with this issue and having a child who is trans or a part of the LGBT community, I just want to say to love your children before you consider yourself, you know, because I think that's a lot of reasons why we get a lot of kickback in terms of the hate that we get is, you know, people are embarrassed that they have LGBT family members because of how we're hated and demeaned publicly. But if you just start in your own household and love your own children and your own family, then it could possibly change the trajectory, even the conversation that we're having around sex, sexuality, and gender.
Yeah, and I appreciate those callers for calling in. And I also thought the reason that DWayne and Gabrielle Union came out first is because they knew that Zaya was going to live Zaya's truth.
Hello.
And it was a way to protect their child from the harm that they knew would come. I mean, we've seen some of the same people harm and shame Blue Ivy for her hair.
Right.
So, you know, so we know that we have a problem here. And so, you know, what I would say, you know, in kind of closing, if you will, is that, hey, SisterReach is here for you, Memphis, to teach you all about sex and sexuality. We can have this entire conversation. You know, go to SisterReach.org and learn more about our work. Definitely reach out to us if you want us to do sex education with you as parents, you as an adult, your children. Even today, I've had somebody reach out to me about a child needing birth control, and trying to figure out the best, you know, what's the next step and what do they need to do. So, you know, we are here. This is what we do for a living, you know, and my, you know, don't mistake my passion for shame. Okay. Understand that my passion comes from a space and place of lived experience, of not having any kind of a clue about my body, and then learning things about myself and my body that totally changed the trajectory of my life and allowed me to operate as a better human being and citizen in the world, right? It matters that we understand and are not, fearful of talking about sex and sexuality. And shout out to every parent, who's loving on their child, regardless of who they are. To my mother, may she rest in power. To my family, who's been loving on me and my family and who we are and how we are in the world. I appreciate it. And thank y'all for having us, Unleashed Voice.
Thank you. Well, we educate, empower, and enrich the community.
So before we go, we just want to send our condolences to Jay Thomas family, the young lady that was killed in the accident. That's one of our church members. So we're praying for her mom and all of her friends and everybody. And we hope you enjoyed this radio show. We're going to put it up on our YouTube channel, The Unleashed Voice, so you can go back and watch it. This is DWayne, Cherisse, and Elise. We got time today. And we out of here.
Nothing but the truth. LGBTQ.